Hello, welcome back to Lucas Chemistry. I'm your host Lucas from Lucas Chemistry, and today we're going to be on a very interesting topic, making like an explosion, basically test tube rockets. And the way we are going to do this is an experiment you can do at home if you have a narrowed object. It is with something to cover it well. So here's how you've probably heard when you mix baking soda and vinegar together, you get bubbles in a volcano. And the way that's what we're using to make this reaction. But those bubbles aren't like soap bubbles. They're actually a gas called carbon dioxide. And I've talked about it in one of my other videos. Carbon dioxide loves pressure, and when you build enough pressure, the stopper will pop out of your test tube. So, the first thing how does this happen? Well, let's find out. So the first thing we need to do is to get a flask and some baking soda. Pour in about 10 ounces, which is that, I believe. Right, the next thing you're going to need is some water, probably about 90 mils. Right here. Now we've mixed the water well. Now we're going to take a sample and see how basic it is. Now with pH papers, you want to be very careful. This being quite basic is very important, so we have to make sure that it is very basic. Alright, let's get a paper here. So we got our paper here. Right, and then we use our pipette dropper. Take just the itty bitsy sample and put it on the paper. Then we match that piece on the paper up with this. So we can see that our baking soda solution is about a 9 on the pH scale. Right, so that's the way we wanted it. So set this off to the side right now. And next comes for vinegar. Now vinegar in itself, we don't have to do anything to it, but let's just take a sample and make sure. Right, it is about a 3 to 5 on the pH scale. Right, so that's good. That means we have successfully made acid and a base. And this is the fundamentals for a reaction. You can use any sort of acid and base, but baking soda and vinegar are the easiest to get and the safest to play with and dispose of. So, when we mix these together, we get a neutralization reaction. And a neutralization reaction occurs when an acid and a base neutralize each other to get a pH of 7 to 6. 7 is the most neutral point on the pH scale. All right. What this reaction produces is water vapor and carbon dioxide gas. And this is what will be pushing our stoppers out of our test tube. Alright. So, you pour this beaker, because we got a bit extra, back into this. Alright. So we want to transfer all this solution over. Alright. There we go. All the solution is transferred over. Next step, take a test tube or a narrow rounded object. Now I humidified these with water just to really control that reaction a bit. Alright, now place it like that. And sometimes what works better is to not place it in one of these, but if you have one, mine's filled with water from a previous project, you want to put them in like this. Nice and sturdy base. Alright, so the next step is first we need to measure out some baking soda. We want about 0.2 mils. That's okay, we got a little less than that, but that's fine. Then we're going to add it to the test tube. And then use our separate pipette to add our baking soda solution. Now I was a little too slow with this, so I did not catch the initial blast wave of baking soda and vinegar, so it did not pop. But you see we have a bit of a side product here. And this side product is a nice suspension between baking soda and vinegar. Although I do use mostly baking soda in this reaction, it'll be mostly baking soda. So yeah. Okay, so our next step is to take this solution and to measure its pH. Now this is really an extra step, you don't have to do it, but we've got to see if this reacted enough. So we got to take this, put this solution back on its cap, put that into there, and then we're going to go back to our pH paper from earlier. Get a little dab of this. Right, they did in fact neutralize each other. We've got a pH of 7 to 8. Alright. So now you're probably kind of mad at me because, Lucas, we didn't see test tube rockets. We're getting there into a second. So we're going to load a new clean test tube into the tube. There we go. That happens sometimes. Just gotta get like a secure thing here. And we're gonna use this thermometer to secure it like this. Now this isn't what you normally use, but this is what I have. So, going to use it like this. Alright, so the next step, just like before, we're gonna get a bit of each solution. So the baking soda needs to be stirred regularly, or else it won't be basic enough. So you've quickly got to get both of your solutions. This time we're going to add the baking soda one first, and then the vinegar. So that was a mini explosion. Now that's not as big as you can get it. That was a pretty good mini one though. We're going to try another explosion. There we go. If you saw that, that test tube popped out like wildfire. So there's another waste test tube we accumulated. I'm going to put that in there with a bit of this around it. So we're going to load in a new test tube. This one, I'm hoping should go a bit higher. That's about the most of each ingredient you can put in without it being physically impossible to get the timing right. Alright, so next step, we're going to do the same thing. Swirl this around a little bit. Now you can do this with your pipette or anything. And you don't have to use a pipette. You can use a measuring spoon.
It's almost 10 minutes, Lucas.
But here we go.
Hurry up.
Mr. Lucas.
Alright, there we go. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.